Ooh, he said a lot. He said a lot. He said a lot. Joy, I will sound off quickly, and then I'm so eager to listen to what everybody else has to say. There's a very thin line between hate and facts, and what I believe to be the case is that there was incremental growth in the WNBA comparatively to the exponential growth we are seeing now. What I'm about to tell y'all I haven't heard before, so I doubt you have either. Before the 2023 season, the WNBA had grown by 40% viewership from 2022 to 2023. But with Caitlin Clark's arrival, it's grown by 400% viewership. What that means is if the WNBA were continue to grow at the rate it grew from 22 to 23, it would take until 2028 to do what Caitlin Clark did this year. Okay, now let's not talk viewership, let's talk ticket sales. Bear with me. Ticket sales grew in 2023 by 16% from 2022. Ticket sales have grown by 93% in 2024. What that means is without Caitlin Clark, the WNBA would have taken till 2029 or 2030 to get to where Caitlin Clark has gotten them today. Okay, we've talked ticket sales and we've talked viewership. Now let's talk about regular season viewership, not draft viewership. Regular season viewership, it grew by 20% in 2023. It's grown by 180% now, which means it would take another 5 or 6 years to do what Caitlin Clark has done. So between draft day viewership, which is up 400% to 40%, between ticket sales, which is up 93% to 16%, between regular game viewership, which is up 180% to 20%, what Caitlin Clark has done is grown the WNBA exponentially. She did in 5 weeks what would have taken 5 years. And as it pertains to draft viewership, she did in 5 days what would have taken 5 years. So yes, the WNBA was growing before Caitlin Clark. Make that abundantly clear. But it was growing incrementally compared to the exponential growth you're seeing now. And this is just data. This is just subjective facts. Be mad with data. Please do not be mad at me. Joy Taylor, do you agree with Barkley's comments?
I do mostly agree with what he's saying. And what you just gave are facts. And can't argue with those numbers. The numbers don't lie. Men lie, women lie, numbers don't. And that's what that said. She's Neo, right? Like, they were in the Matrix messing with the machines and stuff before he got there, but they needed the one. And the one showed up, and then it took it to a whole nother level. That's what she is. Yeah. They've been looking for her, and she could bend the spoon. She figured it out. You need a star to break through. Yeah. So I hear what he's saying because there is some hate. There is some, I don't want to call it jealousy because that's such an aggressive word, but there is some feeling of we were here, we were working on this, we've been grinding, we've been playing, we've been hooping, we've been putting out a great product we just weren't being paid attention to. And that is true. But like with anything when it comes to entertainment, which at the end of the day, while this is sports, we are in the entertainment business. The NBA is an entertainment product. The NFL is a television product. The money we talked about, that Dak said he don't care about, that comes from television revenue. That is how all of this works. It is an entertainment product. You mentioned the numbers, you mentioned the ratings, all that matters. That's how the sponsors come. That's how the marketing dollars come. That's how you get paid. That's how you get charter flights. That's how you get better facilities. That's how you get better paid coaches. That's how you get paid. All of this comes together, and you need a star. And she is the star. And whether she is winning games right now or looking like a rookie, it doesn't matter. Joy,
define star for me, because so often people say, yeah, she's a star, but there were stars before her. You know, there is Asia Wilson. There is Diana Taurasi. There's Nneka Ogwumike. But you said incredible players. How do you define star? Because people get lost there.
We don't get to decide who the star is. That's what we're going to talk a little bit later about the face of the NBA, right? We've had this conversation all the time. Is it Ant? Is it Luka? You know, who is it? Who's going to be the next face of the NBA? We don't get to decide that. The marketplace decides that. The people have chosen Caitlin Clark. They enjoy watching her play, her style, her energy, her shot. Whether it's because her game mirrors one of the greatest players in the NBA in Steph Curry or not, I don't know what it is. It's an intangible thing, right? Yes, we can say she's a dog. Okay, there's been other dogs. Okay, she's a great shooter. There's been other great shooters. She has it. She's got the thing. We can't assign it. Stars are in some ways manufactured, of course. We're in Hollywood. We know that there's a machine. But you got to have the thing, and she has it. So I do understand what he's talking about, which is there is a sentiment amongst some of we've been here doing this, we built this, and all the credit is going to her. I don't think all of the credit is going to her, though. I think there's a lot of people saying what you said. I think there's a lot of people recognizing the stars that have been in the WNBA, the women that have been working hard, the women that came before, the women that are playing now. I remember when the WNBA started. I was thrilled. I was a fan. I couldn't believe it was an opportunity for me, a 5'2", 97-pound girl, to go play professional basketball. That wasn't going to happen for me. But the idea that it existed was special to me. And now she's offering that to not just little girls, but little boys as well. Yeah. She's spread the fan base. So all in all, it's a positive thing. I understand what he's saying. And this isn't actually that uncommon. Because the thing that he mentioned when we went all the way through his whole comments was that you have this in men's sports all the time. Yeah. You have lots of old heads complaining about how the new guys get charter flights and how they get to eat better and they didn't have to sleep with, in these hotels and they had better transportation and better training and, you get massages and look at how much money they're making. That's a common thing. But at the end of the day, you can't be the one that broke through the ceiling and then complain about it.
I think one of the main things in this whole thing is when you feel like you're not getting the respect.
Yeah.
And I think when you feel like you're not getting the respect, that's when you tend to say comments that come off as hating, right? And that's what a lot of these women are doing is they feel like what we have done for this game, this young player has come into our game and she's getting way more respect and all that stuff than we are. As she should. The young girl is a baller. The young girl has people watching because of the way she can shoot this basketball like Steph Curry. Steph Curry can't dunk. Steph Curry don't do none of that in the game. He can probably dunk by himself, but he don't really do none of that in the game. He is a shooter, and fans tune in to see Steph Curry. When I look at Caitlin Clark, fans are tuning in to watch her, and you know who that's helping? Everybody else. It's helping the Asia Wilsons. It's helping everybody else, the Plums, all that. It's helping all of them, the Tarasis. So y'all should be really thanking her, embracing her. And that does not mean you guys are not ballers. I remember Charles Woodson told me, man, we walk into this stadium and all we see in the stands is offensive jerseys. We see Jones, we see Jennings, we see Driver, we see Rogers, we see Nelson. We very rarely see Charles Woodson. And he better than all of us. But that don't mean we not good, though. So just because Caitlin Clark is getting all the attention and she's growing the game, it does not mean you women are not ballers. You guys are ballers, but I think the way some of them are taking it is like she's taking all the shine away from us and taking away from us being ballers. No, you are taking it like that. People are tuning in. Yes, they watching Caitlin Clark, but they watching your games now, too. And when you play Caitlin Clark, it's even more eyes on you to show that you are like that. So for me, I feel like the young girl's taking way too much heat for really helping you guys and growing y'all game. Does that mean y'all had nothing to do with this? Absolutely not. That is why the young girl is 0-5, because y'all are ballers. You know what I'm saying? It's nothing to take away from y'all, but growing this game, she was chosen, like Joy said, and there's nothing you can do about that.
And that's crazy. Like, everything y'all are saying, you know what that means? She's the GOAT. Y'all just giving GOAT facts. You just talked about nobody's really watching. Now they watching, right? You get chartered planes now? Like, come on. The things you said, the things you just said, that's GOAT behavior. That's GOAT stats. And then everybody hates on the GOAT. Think about it, right? It was a time where everybody loved Michael Jordan. It was a time where people started hating on Michael Jordan, right? Was he gambling too much? Was this and that third? You talk about LeBron James. I mean, we already know his path. Kobe Bryant. When you to go to some people hate on it, Magic Johnson, right? So I don't have a lot to say about it. It's just funny, though, because it's like, you should be happy. The other day, I was at a restaurant, very nice restaurant. And, typically they have, like, at the bar, they have, like, ESPN or Fox, and they have this going on, that going on. They had Caitlin on there. And you should see people that was all engaged. Older women, older gentlemen, right? Different races. And I'm sitting back, it's like, because, I do this for a living, so I'm like, wow, this girl has really changed the game. And she doesn't have any championships. She don't have any all WNBAs, right? She don't have none of that, player of the year. She don't none of that. She's just really, really nice. She went from college to being nice, now I'm in the pros, and now I'm uplifting the game. And we all should be thankful. I go to the barbershop, that's the biggest talk show ever, is the barbershop, right? Especially in the hood. They talk about little LeBron and the Lakers. They talk about little Jason Tatum and the Celtics. You know what else they talking about? Little Kyrie Irving and Luka. But the last and maybe the biggest conversation is Caitlin Clark.
And not only that, like, these teams, let's just say NFL, these teams in the NFL that got primetime games is because of the primetime quarterback. Does that mean Travis Kelce ain't good? None of that? No, that just means Patrick Mahomes is like that. We talked about the Jets having all these prizes. Why?
James,
because of Aaron Rodgers.
I want to talk about something on the other side of the commercial break is how do you deal with the psychology of knowing that you're better than Caitlin Clark? Because right now there are several WNBA players better than Caitlin Clark. James, let's get back to the Caitlin Clark conversation.
Yeah.
I think the WNBA, because it's seeing more eyes than it has ever seen, it's seeing more scrutiny than it's ever seen. So obviously when you turn on the light, you might see some different things you didn't see prior. In football, you have to deal with it. You have the star defensive end. You have the star linebacker. You have the star defensive back, like you were talking about with Charles Woodson. They won't get as much attention as the average quarterback or the above-average quarterback. Kirk Cousins still gets heck of attention when Dalvin Cook was balling back when he was in Minnesota. Justin Jefferson, one of the greatest receivers we've ever seen, and everybody still got more Kirk Cousins jerseys, if you will. But now in the W, it's interesting. Because Caitlin Clark, she's not a top 10 player right now. Like Shady said, she's a rookie. But she ain't getting rookie attention. She getting #1 player ever attention. But she's not that right now. Talk to me about the psychology of having to deal with that.
Well, first off, you got to be good with who you are. You know what I mean? And to me, it all depends on what you're chasing. You know, because I think that's when you start getting into that jealousy world. When you're chasing to kind of be like Caitlin Clark and you want the attention of Caitlin Clark or you want the attention of a star receiver or whatnot. Be good with who you are. If you've been a really good basketball player, be good with that, no matter how much attention somebody's getting. I think that's why Caitlin Clark has taken so much heat from some of these players is because they don't really sound like they good with who they are and what they got, and y'all are ballers, and y'all are good, but you guys are worried about what Caitlin Clark has. I never done that, right? I never done that. I'm good with who I am. If the money is for me, if I'm supposed to get a certain amount of catches, if I'm supposed to play at this level, I'm going to play at this level. But at the end of the day, I didn't expect to have the same attention as a Terrell Owens or I didn't expect that because, number one, I have not earned that. Caitlin Clark has earned this. In college, she earned that. Everybody was tuning in to watch college basketball, too, if the last time I checked. And she bumped up them ratings. And she wasn't winning national championships or none of that. But she bumped that up because of who she is and how she played. So you can't even really compare yourself to Caitlin Clark. And if you can't compare yourself to her, then you shouldn't expect to get that much attention as her.
But the dilemma is you have Shady McCoy, an incredibly intelligent individual, both on sports, both athletically, all the things. Shady, you say she's a GOAT. But when people hear GOAT, they hear greatest of all time. Now, you're not specifying that she's the GOAT as it pertains to sales and revenue. You're just saying she's the GOAT. So somebody might be like, wait, but what about Candace Parker? What about Taurasi? What about Breonna Stewart? As it pertains to, what about Maya Moore? GOAT on the court with their play. Yeah. But when you say she's the GOAT, that could offend others who are like, well, she ain't near one of the greatest basketball players yet the W's ever seen.
Well, she's a rookie. So, I mean, to say she's the greatest basketball player we've ever seen play, right? We have enough evidence to say that.
Then why do you say she's the GOAT?
Because when you look at the game of the women's basketball, right, all the great names you just named, a lot of great ones.
Yes, sir.
What did they do for the game?
They laid the foundation.
Yeah.
Laid the foundation.
Yeah. What else?
Helped increase things and move things along.
Yeah.
Increase things and move things along.
What else?
They didn't bring the attention like Caitlin.
Come on, ain't even close. You just read them numbers. Read them numbers again, please.
Up 400% as it pertains to draft day viewership. Up 93% as it pertains to ticket revenue from 16%. Up 180% as it pertains to regular season viewership from 20%.
So all I'm saying is, like, and Joey talked about it last week about, like, paving the way. And they did, in some sense, pave the way. They got some championships, and people were watching, but they're not watching like they're watching now. So many people are from kids to grown-ups. They want to see Caitlin. They want to see basketball now. More people know about the rosters with women's basketball than they ever did.
Yeah, that's very true.
It's on TV all the time.
Very
you couldn't watch Maya Moore if you really wanted to, right? You can watch Caitlin, though. She's out here. Another thing is, when you go to these away games, let's not even talk about Caitlin.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the opposing team. Every time she plays against a new team, they set a record of attendance. Come on. A girl that you didn't know that was even good, right? You watch Caitlin, oh, who this other girl on the other team? Whoa, she's good. Whoa, she's nice.
Yeah.
You see it.
Yeah.
I mean, this is not uncommon. We're talking about Caleb Williams, right? Caleb Williams is a massive star. He was a massive star in college. Yeah. All these expectations, generational, Hall of Fame, all these conversations before he's still not played one down in the NFL. And we're talking about this, is he going to have a Hall of Fame career? Which just sounds crazy, but he's a star. That's what happens. And when you are that good, those expectations come with it. And what did Jalen Johnson say? Can't bring all that Hollywood stuff in the building. And what were we saying? Why are you talking about that? Why are we talking about Hollywood stuff?
Jealousy.
He's a rookie. Of course he's gonna have some struggles. Rookies always do. That's why Shady and I are like, what are the expectations for him? We don't know. He's a rookie. Caitlin Clark is a rookie. But what she is not is invisible. What she is not is ignorable. And she's not paving the way, she's broken through. And that's always the cost that you pay when you're a trailblazer. You might not get the recognition that you deserve, but people might not know your name for the things that you did and the work that you did as an ally or the things that you had to deal with. That's part of the deal. The business wasn't the same when I came in it 17 years ago. It's different now for women. I like to think I played a small role in that. I don't need recognition for that. That's what you do. You do it for the next generation. And if you happen to be able to benefit from her, which a lot of the players in the league, all of the players in the league now are.
Right.
That's what it is. And so I think that's really what Chuck's saying. It sounds aggressive the way that he's saying it, but that's why he brought up the men too, because you see this in any sport. When the guys that played 20, 30 years ago did not experience the same things that guys are experiencing now. They're not getting these checks. They're not, the CBA is better every single time. That's how it works. That's how progress works. So she's doing everything that she's supposed to do, and she also didn't ask for this. She just happened to be the one.
And not only that, for me, like...
Can we call her Messiah? She's the Messiah. She's saving that game.
If you're sacrilegious,
like, we sit in the locker room and we say, man, how he get that money? How he get that? Or he ain't that good or whatever. Like, that happens, right? So I can understand, Acho, you play linebacker, you could be like, man, I feel like I'm better than this linebacker and he making more money than me. Shady was the highest paid running back in football. It was somebody before him. He probably thought he was better than him. You know what I'm saying? And he's making more money. Caitlin Clark making the same bread as y'all on this basketball court.
Well,
so,
not off of it.
On the basketball, but I'm just saying, we're talking on court.
Can we we've never seen nothing like her before, right?
What do you mean? Because we have.
No. We haven't seen anything like Caitlin Clark. We have not seen anything like Caitlin Clark.
That's why we're watching her.
When the moment happened last year with Angel Reese and Caitlin Clark in the national championship game, the one that broke through, that everyone was discussing, should Angel Reese have gotten in her face, all of that. That moment positioned everything that's happening right now.
Agreed.
And I've said it a million times, it's not a perfect comp, but the NBA was struggling. It was failing. It had stars everywhere. Historic stars, Kareem, Wilson, it was failing. Magic and Bird showed up. Magic and Bird got hated on. There were plenty of people who didn't like Magic and Bird, but they had that thing. They had that extra quality that made people want to watch, and they were marketed properly, and all the work that had been done in the league before that presented the platform for them to save the league. Sometimes you just need a star.
We've never seen nothing like her.
We've never seen anything like Caitlin Clark.
See, I don't think we've seen a situation like what Caitlin Clark had in women's basketball in college. But are y'all talking about we haven't seen a talent like Caitlin Clark?
We know what we're saying. It's her talent. It's the moment. It's the style that she plays with. It's the star quality. You can't always quantify what makes somebody polarizing and a star. She is that. Of course, there were great players that came before. There's great players that are playing now. There's better players in the WNBA than her. She's a rookie. It's not about that. All things kind of come together at one moment. You don't get to decide who that person is. The people have decided. People have chosen.
My prayer is, and I root for Caitlin Clark, and I root for a lot of these girls, but my prayer is that they keep losing and they get paid.
Subscribe here to get the latest from Speak, and go watch a few segments from our other shows on FS1.